What is up, everyone? It is January 1st, 2019. Sounds weird to say. 2019. I'm sure every time I write the date, it's still going to be 2018. The other day I put 2009. It was weird. So, woke up to a cool surprise this morning. 1 million followers on Instagram. That's a big number, and that's crazy. So thank you, anyone out there who follows me on Instagram. I appreciate the support. It's been a crazy year. It was a crazy 2 years since I started the account, but can't complain. It's amazing. So in this video, I'll talk a little bit about maybe ways you can grow your account, things that worked for me, that might work for you, and maybe some things to avoid. There's no secret sauce to it. There's no secret pill, but some common sense stuff that people seem to forget when they're trying to get huge followings. And also, it's the new year, so that means the gyms are going to be packed. People are trying to get fit. Hopefully people stick with it, but a lot of mistakes when it comes to warming up, or maybe just things people don't know because they're new to fitness. So I'm going to go over some things you can do to warm up properly, things to look out for if you're working with a trainer or you're in a class or something like that, and something just doesn't feel right, things you can do to modify or at least talk to the trainer. That way they know what's going on so you don't get injured. I think that's one of the big things about fitness and the new year is people get really excited. Their goal is to get fit, maybe lose those extra pounds. For me, it was always gaining some muscle, but then you kind of get burnt out, you get injured, and then you quit. So hopefully some of these tips will help you out there so you don't get hurt. But let's do it. Let's do the warm-up stuff first, and then I'll talk a little bit about my Instagram later on. All right, so here are a couple of my favorite tips for people trying to get into working out, making it a habit. It is your New Year's resolution to get fit, to get healthy, to look good. And here are a couple tips that I love that you should be aware of when you're starting on this kind of fitness journey. So one thing is warming up. I think a lot of people don't put enough emphasis on it. I think it gets your body ready for the workout. It's also a great way to just get your flexibility and mobility training in, because a lot of people forget about that. So first, I like to do a general warm-up where just walking, maybe a little bit of jogging, elliptical, jumping jacks, anything just to get your heart rate up. Not too intense. I just do it just to get, my body feeling good. And then I like to follow that up with some sort of dynamic stretch routine. Things like World's Greatest Stretch, where you're coming out, elbow comes to the ground, you're rotating up, you're sitting back, getting into that hamstring, working multiple body parts, and actually moving is a great way to get ready for your workout. You're gonna see movements like that in your workout, so might as well prep it before you actually start doing the harder stuff. So that's the first thing, warming up. And everyone's different. I know as I'm getting older that it takes a little bit longer for my body to warm up. So just because that person warms up for a minute, 2 minutes, doesn't mean that it's wrong for you to warm up for 5. So find something that works for you. I take probably like 5 to 10, 15 minutes, depending on the day, to warm up. So that's tip number 1. Also, tip number 2, this is gonna help more in the injury prevention. In an ideal world, I think everyone should get assessed, which means certain exercises, movements, things like, this is a very common one that I see, not being able to get your hands overhead. But then if you don't get assessed and you go into maybe a workout with a trainer or a class and they have overhead presses, you put dumbbells in your hands, you go overhead, what motion is that? It's the same motion here, but if you can't get there physically, then doing this and compensating through the motion is probably gonna do more bad than good. So being aware of what you can do. Same thing with squatting. Squatting is such a popular exercise, and you see the perfect technique,
ass to grass, back stays straight, it's perfect. And then someone wants you to do it just like that, or you see it on a piece of paper, you watch the demo video and you're like, okay, that's what I gotta do, but your body physically can't do it. There's nothing wrong with regressing that motion, finding an easier version and doing that until it gets better, if that's your goal. So being able to find out, or being aware of your own body and knowing what it can and cannot do is gonna be huge for you from an injury standpoint. So quick review, warming up, dynamic movements, then also knowing what your body can and cannot do. If you're struggling to know all about that, there's tons of great trainers, there's tons of great therapists out there. Just ask around, that's probably the best thing to do, and get assessed if you want to.
1 million followers, 2019. So if one of your goals is to grow your account, you want to help more people and you want to start growing your account so you can reach more people, here are a couple tips that I think everyone needs to do. I did a video on this a while ago when I hit 500,000 followers, and then I ended up deleting it off YouTube, but I'll re-upload that for you guys. So great tips there. And here are a couple tips for you. Number one is consistency. Posting every single day, in my opinion, is the best. At one point, I was posting once a day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. And think about it, it's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym once or twice a week, are you going to expect awesome results? Probably not. But if you go every single day, or at least 5 to 6, 7 times 7 days a week, even if you don't crush the workout, even if it's just a recovery day, you'll probably get some great results in the long run. So same thing, Instagram, post every single day. In the long run, you'll do much better than if you just posted once or twice a week. So number one, consistency. Number two is think outside of the box a little bit. One of the big things, in the past 2 years, I went from knowing nothing about Instagram to knowing a little bit more just because I was doing it all the time. And the funny thing is you start seeing accounts pop up that look exactly the same. Exactly the same. Back when I was trying to grow my account, when I just first started, there was no account that looked exactly like mine, where the whole page was pictures on the left, videos on the right. There were videos like that, and I took inspiration from those, and I'm like, I really like the style, I'm just gonna stick with this. But back then there was nothing like that, so I decided to switch it up just a little bit and kind of made it my own. So that's number two. Don't be afraid to be creative and think outside the box and see if it works. Trial and error. If it works, great. If it doesn't, you can always just switch it up. It's not life or death. So number two is being creative. Number three, I would say, is, let's say, collabing. Finding like-minded people that you can throw ideas off of, not only just on social media, maybe you guys just like each other's content and you share a post with each other, but in real life. So, sorry, I'm getting a call. Ignore. So collabing, if you like someone else's content, you guys have similar mindsets, sharing each other's posts because you just really like their stuff. But also learning from them in real life. For me, career-wise, learning things I could do in my therapy sessions from someone else was awesome because I could throw ideas off of them on stuff like that. So collabing is number three. There's a whole bunch other ones too. Maybe I'll dive deeper into it in a future video, but make sure you give those a try. All right, and that's it for this vlog. I just wanted to jump on real quick, just a quick little vlog here saying Happy New Year, and hopefully some of those tips helped you out. What are your New Year's resolutions? I have goals. I don't really have New Year's resolutions. I try to lay out some goals. I did this last night on what I want to accomplish, kind of some vague goals, and that way at least gives me a little bit of an idea of what direction I want to head. And I don't mind if they change during the year, but at least I have something to reach for. So let me know in the comments below what your goals for 2019 are, business-wise, workout-wise, mobility-wise, and I will see you guys in the next one.